good afternoon, good morning, good evening, whatever time it is. Thank you for coming back to do a little bit more exercising. All right, today we're doing some stretching for our smaller muscle groups. This is basically a continuing on from a last video, and if you didn't go see that video, it's full body stretching. I left out the shoulders, biceps, and triceps, and neck to do that in this video, okay? So before we get started, today is day 5 of the coronavirus lockdown in Delaware. So stay prayerful for those people that actually have to go out and work as we stay home and try to, wait this thing out. So be safe out there. All right, but let's get into our workouts. Hold the phone, ladies and gentlemen. Of course, we want to warm up before we go into our stretches. Unfortunately, my editing completely destroyed that video, okay? So go ahead and just do some basic arm circles with both arms. You're going to do about 5 to 10 forwards and then backwards. So put me on pause, and then once you're ready, unpause me, we'll get into it. Now that you're all warmed up, let's go ahead and stand nice and tall. All right, raise your arm, one arm, about shoulder level. And then you're going to turn your hand flat with your knuckles facing the ceiling. Okay, once you're here, you're going to reach for your opposite shoulder, holding your elbow with the opposite hand. Now, if you saw my full body stretch video, you already know that I'm a big person on breathing through and in a stretch. Okay, so deep breaths in through your nose and out through your mouth, even as you're moving in and out of a stretch. Okay. Through your breathing, try to relax the shoulder you're trying to stretch. Let the opposite hand that's holding the elbow do all of the heavy lifting, really supporting the weight of that other shoulder. Once you're done, release the arm straight forward and then drop it down to your side. Now that we're on the opposite side, you can raise up that arm and make sure that you're keeping that shoulder back and down as opposed to reaching out for something or your shoulder being up in your ear. Once you feel comfortable, you can turn that wrist and reach for that opposite shoulder, okay? Make sure you're using that opposite hand to really support the elbow, really relaxing the shoulder that you're trying to stretch. That's very important, and breathe through the stretch. Once you're done, you can release the arm and get ready for your next stretch. Now don't turn around, I just wanted to give you a different point of view. I'm going to need you to stand up nice and tall with your chest out, then have one hand facing forward, then twist the wrist to have the palm facing back, and then place the hand on your butt. All right, now this would be the start, okay? And if you have a really good fitness level and you feel confident in the flexibility in your shoulder, as you can see, you can raise that hand, okay? Bringing your hand to the middle of your back. Now, an usher would stand this way as she ushers or he ushers people to their seats, or even a butler. Okay, and one thing they both have in common is great posture, that being one of the biggest tools to help efficiency within our stretches. Okay, and once you're done, you're going to go and drop that hand and get ready for your opposite side. Now in this view, you'll be able to see me supinate my shoulders. All right, so you want to stand nice and tall with your chest out, then supinate those shoulders, helping the hands facing forward. Then with that opposite hand, you're going to turn that hand all the way back and then place that hand either on your butt or in the middle of your back, whatever's comfortable to you. We want to practice good posture for a couple different reasons. One being to protect ourselves from overstretching. The other would be the fact that none of us have great posture, of course, unless you're a butler. But besides that, we can always improve our posture through repetitive stretching and resistance training. With that being said, feel free to email me at livefitlovelife@gmail.com for information on virtual personal training with yours truly, or even nutritional assessments. Now you can drop that hand back down to your side and get ready for your next stretch. You're going to stand nice and tall with your head up and bring one arm straight up in the air, almost parallel to your ear. Okay, if you can't get your hand that high, then that's perfectly fine. Then you're going to drop your hand back behind your head, grab the elbow with the opposite hand, and give a slight pull on that elbow, stretching out the tricep. You'll also feel this in your rib cage, your lat, the list goes on. Very useful stretch. So if you couldn't get your arm straight, no worries. This next alternative is for you. Just get your arm to where it feels comfortable and use the wall to slightly lean into so you can feel that stretch in the tricep. You'll feel a lot of stretching in your latissimus dorsi or even in your armpit. That's perfectly fine, totally natural. Now we're enjoying these stretches for about 30 seconds, and then you'll raise that hand and we'll go into the other side when you're done. All right, same thing, raising that arm straight up in the air, standing nice and tall as we do so. Once your arm is up, just drop that hand behind the head, grab that elbow with the opposite hand, and slightly give yourself a little bit of pressure. Again, nothing crazy. Standing tall and breathing deep breaths in through your nose, out through your mouth is definitely enough for a good stretch. Then once 30 seconds are up, go ahead, raise that arm up, and let's get ready for our next stretch. So here we're looking to stretch on our shoulder and bicep. I would like a flat wall to use, but since I'm restricted to the confines of this room, I'm going to use that doorway you see behind me. Now what I was just showing you, which I'll show again, don't worry, is the level you want your hand. You want your hand raised to shoulder level, not lower, not higher, as you can see there. Now extend your arm, placing the bottom of your palm literally at the wrist on the wall flush. Then you can take that outside foot, turn it out to turn into your stretch. All right, I'm really feeling this in the shoulder, a little bit in the top part of my chest, for example, in the armpit, and in my bicep as well. It is okay not to feel this exactly where I'm feeling it. Everyone is different, so you might feel it more or less in a certain area. But if you feel like you're doing it wrong or you feel like you're feeling pain somewhere, again, shoot me an email. I'll get back to you as soon as I can, or even write a question in the comment section. Once you feel comfortable with your stretch, you can roll out of your stretch and then release the arm, and then let's get to the other side. Just switching sides, grab that wall, then pivot that outside foot out. Deep breaths in through your nose, out through your mouth, and enjoy the stretch. That should be about 30 seconds, give or take. So you can turn out of your stretch and then again release the wall once you're ready. And then we'll go into our next stretch. We were just stretching the shoulders, so we're going to segue into the neck and come back to our wrist and biceps after. You're going to start by standing nice and tall, then slowly drop your head to one side of your body, and then let the weight of your head just roll to the other side. Without pulling your head down, just allow the natural weight of your head to give yourself a nice dynamic stretch as you roll back and forth. We're going to be doing about 10 rolls each side. Enjoy. Now we started with a dynamic neck stretch first to warm up the muscles closest to the cervical spine. We don't want to start manipulating those muscles until we're comfortable and ready. So now we can stand nice and tall. All right, lean that head over. Naturally leaning the head over, you'll be able to just allow your neck to stretch with the weight of your head. But if you'd like, you can bring up that hand, grab underneath the ear softly, and start to give yourself little to no pressure at all. Okay, very little pressure here. No need to pull. There's no other range of motion besides what you're giving yourself right now. Then when you're done, you can just raise that arm back up and then drop it down to your side. Then slowly raise the head and then bring it down to the opposite side. Again, this is a good enough stretch, but if you feel comfortable with giving yourself a little bit of added pressure, again, raise that arm straight up, place it underneath the ear, and just give yourself very little pressure. Again, no need to pull. There's no more range of motion than what you already have. You're pulling on a muscle that does not have any more flexibility. Don't do it. Next, we're stretching the rear of our neck, so get ready for our next stretch. You can just drop your head to the opposite side, and then once it drops to its side, then you can slightly roll it forward, bringing your jawline to your clavicle. If you're already feeling a stretch, there's really no need to pull anything. But if you'd like, if you feel comfortable with your stretch, go and raise your arm, bring it to the back of your ear this time, not underneath your ear. And as you can see, my elbow is reaching forward, slightly giving some pressure on the back of the head. Very little pressure. All right, way to go. Now let's go into the other side. Bring your head straight over. And then once you have your head straight onto that side, then you can roll it forward. And you can sit here, or again, if you're feeling comfortable in your stretch, bring that hand up behind the ear and elbow forward to slightly give yourself some pressure in the back of the neck, in the back of the head actually. Keep in mind your breathing, still deep breaths in through your nose, out through your mouth. And once you're done, you can go ahead and release the neck and stand straight up. Last stretches, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go ahead and stand nice and tall. Bring our arms straight up. We're going to hit our bicep, forearm, and wrist. Hands facing the ceiling. Grab underneath your wrist with your thumb, fingertips over the palm of your hand, and now push that palm towards the wall. Window, door, whatever's right in front of you. Now, if you can't get your arms straight, you just might feel this in your forearms, and this would be useless to your bicep, okay? Again, everyone is different, which is why I want you to write me so we can figure out what you need. All right, this is the opposite side, just in a different view. Last stretch, again, facing our palm to the ceiling. Notice that my thumb is right under my watch, and I'm gonna push that palm to the wall. All right, make sure those fingertips are covering the balls of your hand, okay, the opposite side of your knuckles. Way to go, guys. You finished the upper body stretching routine with Joel. Thank you for coming out today. Again, be safe, please, while we're in this pandemic with the virus. And if this video was helpful, like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.